Hi, friends. This is Caitlin. Welcome back to Pink and Main's Facebook or YouTube channel, wherever you are joining from. I'm so excited to be back with you this week. I hope everyone had a fantastic weekend. I saw people already starting to check in the comments. So if you're here, you can always drop in the comments wherever you are and say hi, and I'll see them. I see Kiki, Mary. Makes me so happy to see you guys are here. Virginia said she's here, but she's also at dinner, so she's watching with the audio off. So we'll get her later. Um, but yeah, and Maria, I'm so excited. Today we're just doing something for fun. With going over some of the new products the last couple weeks. Uh, I don't know. It's not like pressure that I'm being put under, but I just wanted to make something today that literally just makes me smile. So we are going to play with some ink and some really sweet little characters. We've used this stamp set before, but we're going to use it in a different way today. And I'm just excited. It's just going to be fun. I see Julianne from Minnesota, Shani or Shania from Vegas. That's so cool. Thank you guys for checking in. Let me go ahead and get us switched over. There we go. So I brought out the Sweetest birthday stamp set again. And like I said, we have used this once before. We used it when it came out. But I just love it so much. And I want to do something a little bit different, a different style of card with these. So I have 3 of the donuts stamped out. You can see I had a little mishap with some wet ink. And then 1 of the sweet little ice cream cup, or maybe he's a cupcake. Now that I'm looking at him, I'm questioning. I think he might be a cupcake. I don't know. I thought he was ice cream. Maybe we'll still color him like ice cream. But he's got a balloon and these sweet little eyes that give him almost like little cheeks. I just love them. Oh, Mary says she loves the donuts too. That's perfect. I see Peggy, uh, uh, Lina, Liana, Lina. I don't know. You let me know from South Carolina how to pronounce that. So these are the characters we're going to be coloring, and I'm going to do 2 cards today. I want to make ink blended shapes for each card. So I have our layered scallop circle dies that we're just going to be using the smaller circle. And then I have the slimline stitch, mini slimline stitched rectangles. And we're going to pick one of those for our donuts to kind of line up across. So I guess let's start out with, let's start out coloring. We usually hold coloring off to the end. So let's switch it up today. We'll start off with some coloring, then we can die cut our images out and I can pick what Lynn with a short A sound. I was right. So Lina. Perfect. Thank you. Mouse Kim from Oregon checking in, Kim. Yeah, we got you zoomed in. There we go. Okay, and I didn't pre-pick my Copics, so we're just winging it today. So the colors that we're going to use for our inks are Night Sky, Dress Shop, and Construction. So we're going to kind of let that be our guide while we are coloring. Let's do like a little purple cup. I'm pretty sure this is a cupcake, but I'm coloring it like it's ice cream today. We're just gonna go with it. That's the vision I had. I'm following through. So I'm gonna start with VO9 and I'm gonna start shading from my outer corner. I'm gonna leave a little bit of space on either side so that my shadow is not touching the outside of the cup. It's going to touch the bottom though. And that's just going to help give that like curved reflective light. We're going to jump to B17 and start to pull that color out. that. We're going to jump to V15, which has a little more pink in it. So I'm really going to take my time, little circles, kind of pulling that color together. That. So cute. Sweet little purple cup. You know what? While we're at it, let's use that same combo on one of our donut frostings. So V09, I'm going to add some shading to the lower edges of each of these kind of like frosting ripples. And then along the lower part of this inner circle. Hold on, guys. Okay, jumping to 17. Just pulling that color out a little more. Like a little grape frosted donut. I've never had a grape frosted donut, but I would eat one. And then we're just going to fill in the rest of that space with that 15. My dog finally got her cone off from her surgery, so she is, instead of laying down behind me like a good dog, she's running around like a crazy animal. But I can't really blame her. Okay, so now we need a pink and we need an orange combo. I'm gonna go pretty bright for the orange. Because construction is like a very like yellowy orange. It's not, it's kind of right in between. So we'll pull in a yellow for our lightest. All right, I'm thinking I want this ice cream slash frosting to be pink. So let's do the balloon orange. So same idea where I'm not touching my shadow to the edge. And I'm going to make one curved line the whole size of the whole balloon and one side just like a little hint. I'll jump up to YR04. Pull that out. And I like to kind of connect them. And then take our lightest, which might, I don't know, that's a pretty big jump. Yeah, I like that better. We'll do 17. Why 17 for that orangey yellow? It's going to work pretty good. And then again, we're going to repeat those on one of our donuts. Did anybody do anything fun over the weekend? I feel like it's, at least here in the US, it's summer. And so I do know that a lot of places got crazy weather the last couple of days. So I hope everybody's been safe. I had a a wedding this past weekend for a very close friend of mine that I grew up with. And I had the pleasure of doing her makeup for her wedding, which was really exciting. I don't think we've ever talked about it here, but makeup is my other creative outlet. So it was really fun to be able to work with her and then also attend the wedding and see all of my hard work in action. I'm just going back in with a little bit of that darkest orange. I just feel like a little bit got lost. And I'm going to take, I don't know if you can see, I went outside the lines right there in the middle. So I'm just going to take a white gel pen. Yeah, Mary, makeup is just coloring on a face. That's how it feels sometimes, right? A lot of the um, principles are the same, right? Color theory is color theory, no matter what your canvas is. Virginia's checking in on her phone. She said it's so different than a computer screen, I bet. All right, so we're good with our orange. Now we need a good pink, and this is definitely a very like RV pink, not a straight R. We need some of that red violet. I think we're gonna go 29, 25, and maybe 14 or 4. Never be afraid to like swatch out your colors too while you're, yeah, I think 14, while you're working to make sure that they're doing what you want them to do. All right, I'm gonna add some of my deepest color to the base here. Granted, I've never had ice cream that was quite this fluorescent pink either, but whatever. We're just having fun today. No pressure. Going to 25. And then that RV14. So cute. And we're doing some really vibrant, really bright colors, but it's going to all balance out because I'm not bringing in any pattern paper. We're going to do our ink blending and then leave a ton of white space on our card. So that's how I'm rationalizing these like very vibrant colors. Same kind of pattern for all of them. Creating those drips, shading that lower part. Perfect. Hey, Linda, thank you for checking in. And Lena said that she wants some ice cream now. So I'm glad that I could be a bad influence. I don't think there's ever a time I don't really want ice cream, to be fair. All right, and then now we just need a good neutral kind of base color for our donuts. I think we're just going like classic vanilla cake donut. So let's do 43, 42, 41 from the ease. At that wedding on Saturday it was on the boardwalk in New Jersey. And during cocktail hour, I don't really drink. So I was outside on the little like porch thing, and I saw that there was an ice cream shop right next to the venue, and there was no line on a Saturday afternoon in the summer. So I took that as a sign and I ran over and I got ice cream, and it was amazing. So I hear you, Lynn. I'm always in the mood for ice cream. We're going to fill in these lower sections with our medium and then just leave a little bit of room on this like upper right hand corner for that highlight, that 41 shade. Oh, Linda's from Florida, so she said she's got Italian ice in her freezer. She's stocked up and ready to go. I think I'm too much of a wimp for Florida summers. Oh, we still have ice cream trucks here, Lena. They come all the time. My kids freak out regularly. I'm going in with a white gel pen to give little highlights to the eyes. I'm going to also add some highlights to my frosting ice cream. I'm going to also add some to my like donut drips. And I'm not being like overly concerned about accuracy here. I just think it gives that really cool kind of shine effect. And these are obviously super cartoony, so if it just looks very cartoony, then I feel like that fits. And I'm also going to add a bigger highlight to our balloon. I missed the tail of it. Oh, Dairy Queen. Yep, I remember growing up with going with my dad to Dairy Queen. That was like a big deal. Oh, thank you, Linda. Linda said they're super adorable. Trying to put my markers where they don't go in my little stash. So there are our donuts and our little ice cream cup. So cute. Yeah, I feel like mosquitoes are crazy here this year too because we really didn't get any snow. Normally the cold weather kills them all off in the winter and then they don't get bad until like the end of the summer, but we've been getting bites, like mosquito bites and stuff here for like months now. All right. So let's line this guy up. I forgot that these are separate. That looks pretty good. Okay. And then a little cuppy. And I still haven't changed my silly die plates. So we're going to cut around these guys and do just a couple passes with my die cutting machine. Okay, so we have our ice cream. He came out a little crooked, but not too bad. Donut. Lovely. And if you're ever concerned, like whatever you're making, you know it like really has to be lined up, you can always die cut your images first and then add your stamping. But most of the time, I feel like close enough is fine with me. Orange donut cut out. That's my laying back down. She must have sniffed every inch of the house. She's off duty now. And if you're ever working with tape that you're worried is going to tear your paper, if you kind of pull it back against itself, right? Like instead of pulling it up and away, if you kind of fold it over itself and peel it back like flat, I find I have way better luck on my paper not tearing. Even my low tack tapes sometimes are a little too sticky. Its little legs lined up. Oh, and we'll save this paper for another little character. And Copa's Express It scraps always get used up. And I'd be terrible about using my pattern paper scraps, but I definitely use up my alcohol marker coloring paper. Okay, so let's get these guys back. There we go. Back on our little mat. Back in our sleeve. We're going to leave that out for sentiments. Okay, so this guy is going to go inside a circle that we're going to ink blend. But these guys, we have to figure out, I have to figure out what size rectangle is going to work. Either that one. Oh, I think, I want there to be a good bit of color. So I'm leaning this one. I want you to be able to see the color around them. Yep, and then a little sentiment right under their feet, right? And that'll sit like right in the center of our card. Hey, Beverly. Thanks for checking in with us. Well, Shani, I saw you said you hope you could color too. I honestly, it's a lot of it is just practice. I started out with Spectrum Noir markers because I wasn't sure I wanted to invest in Copics while I was learning. And it's just taken a good bit of practice. And I've watched just a lot of really great colorists. And that a lot of those, it's not even just the coloring, but starting to pick out kind of color combinations when you're coloring. But yeah, like Linda said, she said Kitten Clowder has free classes. Sandy Allnock has, hers aren't free, but depending on how much you can invest, Sandy has some amazing classes. I've learned a ton from watching Amy Young. which is she's on Facebook as Adventures in Coloring with Amy. She colors live on the weekends and has all her old lives up, and you can watch those for free. So there's definitely a lot of amazing colorists out there that we can keep learning from. Don't be scared to try, because if you don't test it out, you don't try, you're definitely not gonna get better or get comfortable, right? It's that like double-edged sword, or like what came first, right? The chicken and the egg, that whole thing. It's like you want to color, but you want it to be good, but you can't get it to be great and really good until you start. I'm just running my circle and my rectangle through my die cutting machine. And then we're going to do some ink blending. Now I'm marrying mine through with printer paper because I don't like my dies leaving any kind of imprint, or my plates leaving any kind of imprint on my cardstock. So we will recycle this path. It doesn't have giant holes in it. The first name I said Sandy Alnack, and Linda in the comments said Kit and Clowder. I've never heard of them, but if she says they're good, I'm a believer. All right. The camera wants to tilt a little bit, but we should be okay. And then the other one, Beverly, is Amy Young, and her Facebook is Adventures in Coloring with Amy. Sandy Alnack, if you just, here, I'll put her, I have her color chart here, so we can put her, how to spell her last name correctly. I'll put it in the comments for you. Allnock. Okay, so I have my shapes. And I have my inks. I grabbed some of my Simon Says stamp brushes just because they let me, I need more of those ergonomic brushes. And this is the order I'm going. We're going purple, pink, orange / orange, pink, purple. Just color theory wise, I know that's going to give me a beautiful blend. We're not going to end up, if we tried to put the orange and the purple next to each other, it might end up brown and yucky, and we don't want that. And I want my edges to be really saturated, and I want where the colors meet to be nice and soft. So we're going to come in with our pink, and that dress shop is so pigmented. The pad is so saturated. And we can always go back and forth a little bit, going back in with just a little more of the construction. And then we're also going to be adding some like splatters to this, so it doesn't have to be perfect anyway. We're going to add some water splatters, and we're going to add some color splatters because I'm in a splattery mood. Bringing in that purple. And I already got ink on my fingers, which means now I'm getting ink on my paper. So I'm going to go in with a Post-it note. felt like the pink was like overwhelming at first, and now I feel like it disappeared. Just add a little bit more of that back. I love that. And you can see that it's not, I mean, it's pretty decent, but it's not perfect. That's totally fine. Like I said, we're gonna splatter it up. So we're gonna do both of these first, then we'll add all of our splatters to both of them once they're done. Hey, Michelle, checking in from Ohio. With my circle one, I think we're gonna do kind of like around the circle. And we're just gonna be really careful where our purple and orange meet, that we're not really gonna overlap them a lot. Hopefully. That's the plan anyway. The orange and pink can really overlap, and we'll just let the orange fade out on that other side. Just like that. I really like that. Let's add a tiny bit more pink. Love it. These are like a very Lisa Frank colors. All right. I'm not going to put those too far away because we're going to use them in a second. And I need a paper towel. So I am going to go in. I just have like a travel spray bottle from like the drugstore. And I'm going to, these inks from Pink and Mean are water reactive. So we're going to just tap on some clean, clear water. So I'm taking my spray part out in that little straw tubey, and I'm tapping the plastic part so I get some big old splatters. We're going to give that a minute to kind of react, and then we're going to pick up the excess with a paper towel. So you can see that just starts to give this really fun kind of bubbly texture. So that's step one. And then I also want to add, I think I'm going to just do pink splatter. I was going to try to do them all, but I think that's going to be really messy. And pink will work with every color. So versus like, I don't want to put purple splatter on my orange bits. So I'm just taking the corner of my inker, of my stamping pad, putting down some color, adding a little spray of water to get that color moving. I'm loading it up on a fan brush, and I'm going to tap that brush, which is a little messy. That's okay. You can definitely do this. You probably should do this in a splat box, but I don't want to. And I'm also going to take some of this Dr. Peach Martin's Bleed Proof White. I'm going to scoop a little bit of that into my pink water mixture. And we're going to make this really pale pink, opaque color to layer in with that. This stuff is really thick, so I'm also going to add a couple more sprays of water. Normally I would probably do this like completely white, but I don't feel like rinsing off all my stuff. It's not going to hurt to have that little bit of pink in it. And then with this, we're just going to add a couple taps. And because these splatters are so light and like small, they're going to dry relatively fast. Just going to rinse that off before it can dry on my acrylic. Luckily, I'm right next to the bathroom. How convenient. What size brush should I use? Well, I left it in there. Let me check. I don't even know if it's marked with a size. No, it just says make today count. It's not marked with a size. I can show it to you in comparison to my hand. It's definitely just like a cheap little fan brush from like a kid's set at Five Below or craft store or something. But you can see now between our white splatter, our pink splatter, and those big splotches, how we just get this really fun texture. Okay, make sure I don't have any loose pigment on my desk. And then we will bring everything together. I might have ink on my hands. It's just something I'm acknowledging before we go into this. I'm going to go ahead and add these to my cards first and then add the sentiments because it'll be a lot easier for me to keep like the circle in place if it's adhered to my card base. So I'm going to add these flat with liquid glue. And then we'll pop up the character with foam. So that one's going to be portrait. And this one is going to be landscape. Yeah, that looks straight enough to me. Oh, Mary said she uses an old toothbrush to splatter. That's fun. Or even probably like a dollar store toothbrush at that point, right? So for our circle, I'm going to hold my this little guy in place. And I think we're going to do You're the Sweetest for him. Just because I know it'll fit nicely right there. Here's my head. And we're going to, this is a little bit wet. So in real life, I would let this dry, but we're going to risk it for the biscuit today. It's good enough for me. You're the Sweetest. And my phone floor. I have my giant roll of foam tape. And it's so funny. I was just going to say these are kind of more like clean and simple for me. But literally, we just made like a huge, I mean, not huge, but we just made a mess. And it has like all these techniques in it. So it's not really clean and simple. It's just more simple than my kind of go-to, I guess. So I just added some foam. All right, pop him right there. There he is. And then also, just because I had that too much gene, I would probably do like a white dry embossed layer so you had like white texture in the back. But you definitely don't have to. That's what I keep trying to like unlearn, this idea that like I have to do all the things. I don't have to do all the things. Sometimes just a couple things is enough things. All right, and I want one of the longer ones. How about sweetest birthday? Oh no, always room for dessert. 100% for our donuts, right? And we're going to tuck that as close as I can get it to the stitching without touching, because I want to make sure I have plenty of room for my donuts. Oh, I love that. Always room for dessert. And I'm not even going to add sparkles to this one, guys. Can you even believe that? So for these guys, I'm going to take one long strip of my foam tape to start, and then just cut little rectangles off of it. And just kind of, 3 is probably enough. I just find this is a lot easier for me than trying to cut the tiny ones off of like the roll and handling the whole roll at once. If you're ever fighting with your foam tape, don't be afraid to start with a bigger chunk. Do we want them like in opposite order, or do they need to go in the proper order? I think they need to go in the proper order. Well, I'm calling it proper, right? So I guess that answers my question right there. I know we're going a little over time, guys, but we are so close to being wrapped. If I could just get this sticker backing paper off. And I think it's cute if the outside ones are a little lower and the middle one's a little higher. Kind of framing up that sentiment. Also funny because I don't know about you guys, but donuts are definitely like breakfast food in my mind, but they really should be dessert. Okay, so there are our sweet little donuts. Always room for dessert. And our You Are the Sweetest little cupcake slash ice cream cup. And they're just fun, right? That looks like summer. It's rainbow, it's tie-dye. Well, not rainbow. It's lots of colors, it's tie-dye, it's fun, it's desserts. It makes me smile. So thank you guys so much for coming to hang out. Thank you all for your very kind words. I hope I could answer some of your questions. Kiki says she loves everything. Thank you, me too. I am so grateful that you guys came to hang out with me. These projects and these lives just make my soul happy. So I will be back on Thursday with a new product that I don't think we have used. Well, I know we haven't used it before. I was practicing over the weekend to make sure that I was using it correctly so we can play with it. It involves foil. So get excited. We're using foil in a way that we have not used it yet. So I know, right, Michelle? No sparkles, not this time. I think my splatter is enough. But you know what that means. We'll do all the sparkles and shine that we can on Thursday to make up for it. So I want to give you guys a heads up now that next week I'll be on Monday and Friday instead of our usual Tuesday, Thursday. So I'm going to see you guys this Thursday. And then next week we're moving Monday to Friday just for 1 week because of Independence Day. And I have something I have to do on Thursday. So yeah, I'll be back here though, normal Thursday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern this week with something special and new. And until then, I hope that you guys have a great Wednesday. And as always, happy crafting. I'll talk to you guys soon.